Would you agree with that from the findings? Because you've actually seen the way different communities have assessed the parties. And as Sanket pointed out a moment ago, with the exception of the Muslims, all the communities that were asked, their biggest section actually preferred the BJP. But again, all the communities chose AAP before Congress. So would you agree with the conclusion from Professor Nandi that AAP is diminishing and perhaps becoming irrelevant, that is becoming the third, not the first or second party?
I must make 3 points here. First, what delighted me is that in cosmopolitan Delhi, except for the lower support from the Muslims for BJP, I do not find much signs of identity politics.
No, but answer my question first before you come on to that.
Now, when you say 6, for example, AAP, there has been swing away from AAP across all communities. Now, you should be careful about reading too much in that 3% swing. 4.5% of Delhi's population is Sikh. The 1200 is the sample size. So you have about 66 in the sample. 3% of 60 is 1.8. So there is a shift of only 2.6 away from AAP. Don't try to read too much into it, that number.
Every community that was asked has actually put AAP as their second, not first choice. Is that indicative of the fact that they are now slipping in significance and importance in the eyes of the Delhi voter?
That, I think, is inescapable. I mean, if the opinion poll has to be seen in its right spirit, then
I
just want to say that actually I'm a little bit surprised at the classificatory variables that we are going for castes in cosmopolitan Delhi. We are looking at it Brahmin, Vaishya, etc. Now I can understand.
Although that is how classically political analysis is done.
But cosmopolitan Delhi, as he just mentioned, and also as you and I also feel it in our bones. But what I would say is that I do understand that there is a Muslim vote. I also understand that there is a Sikh vote. But otherwise, the rest of the, the city, the metro, the mega metro is something else. What I would say is that actually, if you told me that we conducted this in the the JJ clusters, the slum colonies.
No, it was conducted in 40 out of 70 constituencies in Delhi. So it will actually be conducted right across the state.
So the variable for me is whether it is conducted in the JJ clusters or in other localities. That seems to be determining much more, in my mind, what the mood of the Delhi voter is.
One of the pictures that emerges, Mr. Lahiri, and I'll come to you in a moment's time, Professor Nandi, is how AAP support has diminished fairly sizably, even if you think it's only impressionistically over the last 4 months since the Delhi elections. The other thing that emerges is that with the solitary exception of the Muslims, all the other communities, and I prefer the word community to caste categories, all the other communities that were asked how they will vote, put Congress third. Now, to a layman, that is a significant thumbs down. Would you as a psephologist read it the same way? That Congress is getting across the communities a thumbs down?
It's I think, unavoidable to draw the conclusion that for the grand old party it's very bad news. Because mind you, Delhi has got a peculiar pattern. Delhi's loyalties last for about a decade. Then it switches. 80s belong to the BJP. No, it was 80s to the Congress, 90s to the BJP. The last decade was to the Congress.
Last then 15 years to the Congress.
15 years. 2012, before the municipal elections, I think Delhi's loyalties changed.
Where are Delhi's loyalties going now? That's what the poll's supposed to find out. You interpreted it for me.
Yeah. What is interesting is there has been a sea change from 2013 assembly elections to today.
You're a very careful psephologist who doesn't want to actually stick his neck out and give a definite opinion. You're becoming more academic than psephological. Answer this question, because the voters want to know from you as a psephologist.
No, I don't.
Which way are the loyalties of the Delhi voters switching now, as far as you can tell?
Towards the BJP. That is
towards the BJP.
Towards the BJP.
And Congress, therefore, faces a long, hard road when it has to win back the support, win back the loyalty it's lost.
And there are not too many days left. 10th is the polls.
As a sociologist who judges people's reactions and who studies the way moods shift, would you say that these indications where Congress is coming third, no matter which category you look at, with the exception of the Muslims, suggest that the road to political recovery will be long, it will be hard, and it may not yield results for Congress quickly?
Look, 15 years is a very long time. in electoral politics. Congress has ruled the roost for these 15 years. I think psychologically they are prepared to lose. That's not the part of the story. The real story is this, that if you look at the data, you get the impression that somehow there is an anti-Congress wave, because all the community, most of the communities are saying that, except for the Muslims. But after you have said that, the point remains, whom are they moving towards? They are obviously moving towards BJP, but you do see that the other contestants are there. It's basically, we are not talking about Congress. Congress is losing party. We are talking of Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP.
Well, let's see if you agree with that.